So do you think the iPod versus listening to a record where all the songs, are together by one band, and instead you hit shuffle, does that lend itself to listening to, more types of music and things starting to sound almost more alike, or?
I can't imagine that. The thing is, we used to encode a record album with all this significance, because it cost $9, and you didn't have a lot of opportunity to buy a thing. So you would buy a record and you'd listen to it over and over and over and over and over, so that even the suckiest songs on it became meaningful to you. And so you identified with this album. When I was in high school, I was like, I liked the first 4 Judas Priest albums, and then there's that one that I am not so sure about, and then there's that one that I really like, and then there's the new ones that I don't like. You were like crazy about albums and what they represented. And now you don't have to encode stuff with all that meaning. And it's hard to say whether that meaning was encoded in it or whether it was coming from us. And you have the option of like, yeah, I like that song, and then it goes into this song that was made 25 years later by somebody else, and it sounds great. I mean, the way that your minds are absorbing the world with technology, it is impossible for somebody of my age to predict what world you're going to create. There isn't a right or wrong. It's just you have a very different universe than mine, and it kind of looks the same, right? You like Led Zeppelin, I like Led Zeppelin, so it looks like we share a universe. But your experience of it and my experience of it are based on like fundamental truths that are different. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what your generation does. There's a tendency of people my age to think that people your age are not very deep. But when I meet people your age, there's no truth to that at all. You're a generation that's incredibly thoughtful, much more thoughtful than the one that came just before you. The generation that's a little bit older than you is a lot more of a kind of, you guys are like a very considered group of people, and I find that to be true all around. And so however technology is playing in your development as a group of people, it is not making you all have ADD and all be porn addicts and dummies. Like you are weighing things, but just with very different tools than we have. So I don't know. The world that you make is going to be, it's fascinating. I'm going to be living in it, of course. I'm going to be an old man in your world and going like, I don't understand what they're talking about.
Currently you're involved in like marketing and selling music. Are you involved in other music projects aside from your own?
I have a Christmas album coming out tomorrow.
Okay. I guess I wanted to ask a question about, we were kind of talking about technology and a different way of listening to music and all that. I love vinyl records. I still go to the record stores on the weekends, and I love that you can actually buy new albums. Vinyl is kind of making a comeback.
All my records are available on vinyl.
But I wanted you to prognosticate a little bit on the future of the music industry. I worry, is there going to be a day where all the record stores close down?
Well, what's happening is that vinyl is becoming, there was an era where it was like, is vinyl going to go away? And then it was like, oh no, hipsters like vinyl. It's a secret little world. What's happening with vinyl is actually splitting off and becoming basically what this is, a music appreciation society. People are investing, not just buying vinyl, but investing in it and investing in hi-fi stereos because it is a form of art appreciation. And it will become a separate culture from pop music. It will be like vinyl people will be like classic car collectors, or it's a different mindset. And it is this thing that we used to do, which is sit down in front of two speakers, close your eyes and spend a half an hour listening to an album with your ears and not surfing the web while you're doing it and not washing the dishes, but like, I'm listening to this music. So that is, I think, a thing that is...
And now pot's legal.
And now, as of today, pot's legal, so it's just like... I mean, that basically describes the 60s, 70s, and 80s, people smoking a joint and sitting and staring at their stereo. That's why all those 70s stereos have all these little meters and lights, and there's 7 different colors. It's just like something to look at. But like the music, like how people consume music and how people make music now is, it's slipping away from being able to even talk about it. Like when I meet people who are younger than I am, who are making rock music, and they say, "What should I do?" I can only talk about my experience, which is, well, buy a van, and it's going to be a ratty van, but get one that's where the transmission is still good. And then, call around to different cities in Washington and Oregon and book yourself into some low-rent little clubs. And then get in your van and drive around and play shows for people. And at first it's going to be really disappointing. But then you go back to Portland 6, 7 times, pretty soon you've got 100 people at your show. And I'm saying this to people who are, in their 20s, and they look at me and go, yeah, or I could just put my song on YouTube, and then once it goes viral, then I'll be rich. I'm like, well, I don't know about that. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen to everybody. That seems like it happens every once in a while to somebody, but that's not a business model. But in fact, it is for some people.